email as well about how I made the video, what software I use, as well as how I get my drum sound. And I know that Mike gets quite a few questions about this as well, so hopefully with what I post here will help get you started, and we can all reference this video. I'll go through some of the basics, and if you have more questions you can email me. And I've had a few questions about why I need such a big mixer. I don't. Actually picked this up for a really good deal on Kijiji. I use it for the band. Most of the stuff I'm using through here is for the PA system when I'm playing with the band live. But this has a nice feature with this mixer. It has what's called subgroups. I have 8 subgroups which match up with the 8 channels on my tone port A to D converter. So every fader goes to a channel, and that helps me to allocate all these other faders here. I have 48, actually there's 24 AB, so I have 48 channels, and I can assign by pressing these buttons any of these faders to any one of those subgroups that I showed earlier over here. So if I wanted these 2 faders on channel 1, I would press these 2 buttons and I could subgroup any of these channels to one fader. So instead of messing around and fading 4 separate channels, I can fade them down with one. And that's really cool. Let's say with the drums, if I have 8 channels for drums, 8 mics, and I want to bring the whole set down at once, I just bring down one fader instead of messing around with 8 different faders which are set at different levels, and that makes things really easy. But you do not need this to record. This is just a lot of eye candy, and it comes in handy for a live situation with a band, but you don't need to spend this money to get your sound. So this is the Cubase software that I was talking about, and you can see all the separate channels here. These are addressed to the A to D converter. Every channel here is either subgrouped or individually addressed to a microphone over the drum set. And what this software allows you to do is I can pick off one microphone. Let's say I wanted to adjust the sound on the snare. I just hit the solo button. And now only the snare. You can only hear the snare. At least I hope you can hear it. Only the snare is playing. And I can adjust the level, the EQ, I can add effects to it. And that does not affect the kick drum, the cymbals, or anything else. Because, as you see here, I'm going to zoom in. Each one of these lines represents one of the drums or one of the microphones. So up here would be the kick drum, second line down is the snare, you have a tom, another tom, floor tom, cymbals, whatever. So going this route, you can really do some amazing editing and really have your sound come through. I'll see if I can summarize this, because I know I've talked a lot and I only have like 10 minutes. These are the microphones. You can spend anywhere from $300 to unlimited amount on these, and I recommend don't cut corners here, get something half decent. I spent $300 Canadian on getting a decent sound. I'm happy with it. I also have some pretty expensive microphones, and I do get a better sound with those. So it all depends how serious you want to get. Then you choose which way you want to go. With the A to D converter, you're looking at about $500 Canadian. Pros and cons: more expensive, independent channels. This also acts as a mixer through the software. It's compact. It's a nice little unit. I recommend going this way. You're going to spend a little more, but it's worth it. And this gets to your computer through USB cable. And then of course you're going to need software to run this, either like Cubase, Pro Tools. I think Fruity Loops can do this, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. So total here for microphones, A to D converter, software, aside from your computer, you're looking at about $1,000 Canadian. If you're going the mixer route, same thing with the microphones. The mixer, non-powered, you don't need an amplifier in your mixer because it's going to your computer. You could probably pick one up for $100. A good one, $300. Depends how many channels, depends what features you want. Just a basic mixer, you can get away with $100, non-powered. Then you're going to need a sound card to get the sound from the mixer to your computer, and you'll spend maybe, I'd say, $100 on a good sound card with RCA inputs. You can use the generic motherboard sound card that comes with your computer, but it's going to be really noisy and you don't get software. When you buy a sound card, you'll get software, and that'll allow you to at least record the sound and have some flexibility with EQ, and it comes with processors like reverb and these weird reverse effects, and you can have some fun with that. But this method here, $100, you could probably do the microphones, mixer, sound card. Software comes with the sound card, $400 or $500, maybe less, give or take, but it's about half the cost, and that gets you a really good sound. You just have to be very, I guess, attentive when you're setting your levels with the drums or whatever instrument you're recording, because once it's recorded, you don't really have a lot of room to change levels and make it sound like you want it to sound. So aside from this, of course, you're going to need your computer. Your computer will have speakers, and even if you take this route here with the A to D converter, you can still play back the sound through your computer speakers and the generic sound card. I recommend getting a power amp if you're going to use this method. Get a power amp, stereo amplifier, and run some decent speakers, because the sound card really cannot handle a lot of the dynamics and frequencies that a computer sound card is going to generate. So this method is more expensive, but it's for the serious guy. This one will get you through, gives you a good sound, $300-400, and you're rocking. So hopefully that helped. I know it's pretty confusing to follow along. I did a lot of talking and I can't even remember what I said, but hopefully that gets everyone up and running, and we'll have some more videos online.